Good morning. What's up? What's up? We back with another video. Shout out to Self Talk. This original content is on Self Talk, and the other original content is all First Take with Stephen A. Smith. Um, Stephen A. pretty much admitted to everything I accused him of when I first came out. I don't want to hear nothing about Kwame be crying, Kwame be doing this. I said this was Stephen A.'s job. I want you to pay attention to what he admits that he can do. This guy openly admitted, do you want me? This is supposed to be just a basketball journalist. He's just supposed to be reporting on the game. His job shouldn't be that significant, right? Stephen A is harmless. He's just focusing on X's and O's in basketball, the game he knows and loves, that he couldn't play with a damn. But he says in this video everything and how systematically he tear down players' contracts. And he's always a friend to white folk, but he's always aggressive towards black folk. Every time a black male athlete, a black person, period, says something to Stephen A, they're met with a threat on First Take. And then now he goes over to his own channel and do a whole segment on him. But Stephen A. Smith, how did you get so much power that you can get the team and everybody to go against Jaylen Brown, shoe deals and everything like that? He's going to openly admit this on airway. Thank you, Stephen A. Smith. You just vindicated me. All this Kwame is just mad about his basketball career. I feel sorry for him. Don't feel sorry for me. First of all, there's a God up above who I serve that's watching over me. You should know that, dummy, because he's supposed to be watching over you as well. So don't ever think you have that type of power and authority that even if you block somebody in your world that you live in sports, God will open up another door. So people that live like that and live by that, they don't give a damn about your threat, Stephen A. Smith. You're a small peon. So be careful with all that macho man mouth you got. You should probably humble yourself a little bit. But let's let Stephen A. tell you exactly how he got paid.
Saying F Stephen A. Smith.
Fuck Stephen A. Stephen A, Stephen B, Stephen C. Like, my offer still stands.
And Stephen A. Smith responded back to that on First Take, and I want to highlight a little bit of Stephen A. Smith's response. So let's check out what Stephen A. Smith said, man, because he sent Jaylen Brown a warning, pretty much saying that, hey, I can destroy everything that you got going on in Boston. I can destroy your relationship with Jason Tatum. I can destroy your relationship with the owners. I can also even destroy your relationship with the city, the fans. Are you really trying to go here with me? Like, what are you trying to do here? So that's Stephen A. Smith and Jaylen Brown a warning. Let's check out this clip right here. I'll come back with some more commentary. And if you can, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That really does help support my YouTube channel. I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
But in the end, Jaylen Brown, be careful what you wish for. You really want me to start reporting on that level? You understand? Locker room? How the organization might think about you, how the city may feel about you, how Jason Tatum may or may not have feel about you, sneaker deals, endorsement deals, the list goes on and on. The season is over, bro. You on Twitch trying to do what I do and talking about me needing to step away. It makes no sense. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm simply making the point that it is not wise after 24 hours of having your season over in the first round for you to be coming out talking about that's your favorite season. It ain't the smartest thing in the world to do.
And there lies the problem. That's an opinion. That's not journalism. That's the same opinion I could have. I can say, damn, I can take them out of context and say, damn, that's not really smart to say that, because that would be me making an assumption that I know what he's talking about. Journalism is if you get him on your show and say, Jaylen Brown, I didn't understand this statement. Can you explain to me and explain to the people what you meant by that? That would be you doing investigative journalism. You're seeking the knowledge. You're seeking the answers. You go up there and give out theories based on your opinion over what people said. How is that journalism? The man is right there available. You seem to have a back and forth with him every other time y'all say something about each other. So I'm pretty sure Jaylen Brown, he came and asked you straight up, who's your source? And it doesn't seem like he have a problem talking to you. So instead of hearing what Jaylen Brown is saying and going up there on First Take and just making an assumption, why not ask Jaylen Brown? Why not tweet to him or something? There's so many ways to get in touch with people in today's age that you don't have to just gossip in that way. Because when I heard Jaylen Brown say why he said the statement, it all made sense. And so you're already, in my opinion, running the smear campaign on Jaylen Brown just by inserting the fact that oh, you said it was the best season because you were the only one there, and Jaylen Brown was not Jaylen Brown, but Tatum was hurt, and all these other things. No, he said that because the Boston Celtics was written off. And then nobody thought that they were going to be as good as they were. They were written off. Jaylen Brown played exceptional basketball. So did his teammates. Did you hear how selfless he sounded when he said it was great seeing people that were unproven start to come into their own and prove themselves? People that's fighting in the foxhole together, something you've never done, Stephen A. So the only thing you can do is go to gossip and mischievous shit where you're thinking about putting people against each other. You've never experienced what Jaylen Brown has experienced. So all you're relegated to is gossip. If I wish you would do more journalism, because that's what he called into question. Your journalism. You're taking attacks at a man that called your job into question the same way that you call other people's job and profession into question. So we would think that you would be a little more educated in your response and not just threaten to ruin somebody's life. You're starting to sound like the same elitist that you say you're not. You talked about me, or I'll ruin your life. I thought you was the pro-black man. You know, you down with the bros. You know, I thought you was a Q dog. But the first time a black man say something to you, you want to inhibit his way of making money. That's the first thing you said to Kyrie Irving. That's the first thing you said to Kevin Durant. You don't want me to come down there. You always threatening these black men. Serena Williams' husband came up there. You was small as a church mouse. You wouldn't even bring your ass to the studio. But all these black men, you got this so much bravado for. It makes no sense. And me, I still been raising my hand. I'm waiting for our conversation about you and Disney and all these places that you went to speaking on me. And maybe not Disney, but I want to know who paid you to go to those colleges and high schools to speak about me. Because I think that's your stick. That is your only stick, to take away from black men that are better than you. Now, they pay you more because your job is actually quintessential. You tear down contracts, especially black men that got brains in their head that's not out in the streets trigger Tai Chi and all this other stupid stuff. You tear these men down in order to make yourself look good in your white zaddy money. Notice, you have your own platform, but guess where you responded to Jaylen Brown? ESPN. Stop the whole segment to respond to one player. Amazing.
I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was trying to sit up there and look out by letting you know this is not a good look. It's not wise. That's all. And I would have respected Jaylen Brown more, Big Perk, Jay, had he come at y'all, had he come at everybody.
He's trying to look out for the guy who went to NASA. Don't you think this guy knows what he's saying? Don't you think this guy is smart enough to formulate his own opinions, his own thoughts, and that if you don't understand what he meant by what he's saying, newsflash, have you ever thought to ask him before you go and make your own personal assumption? Have you guys that are on a lower IQ than Jaylen Brown, that's proven, this is a fact, that Jaylen Brown is a very, very smart guy. Have you ever sat down before you start opening your fat mouth talking about what this man said? Did you ever give him the benefit of the doubt and bring him on and ask him a question? No. Yeah, journalism.
Who said exactly what I was saying. But evidently, you understand, when you're talking about clickbait and all of that stuff, somebody told you one of the best ways to get it is to bring up my name. And that's what you did. So who's really looking for clickbait? Is it me or is it you? And obviously, you would think you wouldn't need it. $304 million, NBA player. You don't need it. What you doing it for? Before I even get into it, could you do me a favor, please? Get your ass a studio. You looking like you in some dungeon in a little room or whatever. You making $54 million a year. You're going to make 57 next year, 61 the year after that, 67 the year after that. You're in the midst of a $304 million contract. Get a studio with a director and a producer. Call it up clips of mine. Computer ain't even working right. Can't even get the full sound up in there. Get that together. That's number one. Stop being so damn cheap. You got the money. Pay it, okay, for a better production. Number one. Number two, I'm not going to disrespect Jaylen Brown.
So after saying all that, man, excuse me, you cannot make this up. After saying all that, counting this man pockets, worry about this man paper. I'm not gonna disrespect Jaylen Brown. That is disrespectful. Why are you worried about his money? And he's actually Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown can stream outside in the backyard. Nobody would care. They're caring about what he's saying, what he's talking about, what he's doing. You have to have a studio production and all that. He doesn't. He can just hit a live button because somebody is interested in what he has to say. He don't need all the bells and whistles. All he has to do is do something that you can't do. Talk actual basketball. The guy got stars in the ceiling, first of all, and you don't need all that. Whoever told you that? I went viral with an iPhone 8 in a truck. They was caring more about what I was saying. Now you guys have an algorithm that you can control where people don't even get the messaging or the notifications on their phone. So we all know the game and how it works. So, but to sit and pretend like you some type of algorithm that people need to talk about, Stephen A., you talk about people all day long. Your whole stick, your whole job is to talk about other men that are doing something. Why can't you be talked about without you acting like you got to ruin people's career? Imagine LeBron, you just got mad at LeBron for saying or alleging that LeBron tried to do that to you. Then you turn right back around with the same threat to somebody else. So how are you any different than the allegations you put out on LeBron? This makes no sense. You did not like it when you accused LeBron James of it, trying to get you fired. And now you go out and use the same tactic saying, I can ruin your relationship with Tatum. Why? Because you said something about your little sensitive ass? I can ruin your relationship with the city. Why? Because you said something about you. He asked about your journalistic integrity because he asked who your source was. You think you're that high and mighty that you're above a conversation. You act like a female, maybe, because a man should be able to have a conversation with another man without trying to take food off his table. You treading into dangerous waters when you start taking food off men's table. That's crazy to me. But hey, live your life how you want to live it.
It's amazing to me, Jay, Big Perk, Shay, how Perk said all the things he said. You said all the things you said. Wilbon said all the things. Everybody said something. And I went on, I've spoken on it on numerous occasions. And you picked some 20-second clip of me talking about how Jason Tatum showed up on First Take, but not your podcast. Stop it. I'm not going to get into all of that. Was Jaylen Brown bringing up the fact that I wasn't reporting when I was raving about him all season long? When I was talking about him for the most of this season as a top 2 league MVP candidate, when I was pissed off and I raised holy hell on the air when he got ejected from the San Antonio Spurs game and he didn't deserve that, when I talked about him leading the pack and doing the things that he's done and solidifying his greatness as an athlete, did he complete?
Everyone does that. They say something nice about a guy so they can cover up for all the BS that they want to say. They use that as an excuse. No, that's the same thing that the white guy used for the Clippers after he said the N-word. Hey, I bought them cars. I bought these guys cars. What the fuck did they want from me? I should be able to say the N-word. So no, that is the same BS Stephen A. Smith is doing. Two things can be true. You said things nice to him or nice about his game after he was written off already. After their season was written off as they're not going to do this, they're not going to go here. He did everything he said he was going to do. He came out and kicked ass. Matter of fact, he wasn't even talking. He just put his head down and kicked ass. So, yes, he made you look at him. He don't owe you nothing. He's talking about when you make up stories, you won't talk about that. Don't try to switch gears into something else. When you make up stories and when you do all these things without following up and asking a young man a question, especially a young man that can articulate himself like that, you are pushing a narrative. That's not journalism. Anybody can do that for clicks and views. I can take anything somebody said, don't ask them a question and just spin a narrative about it. That's the same thing you're doing. So Stephen A., humble yourself, man. All this, be careful threatening to take food out of other people's mouth because it happened to you. So by your own admission, this is what you said. You said LeBron James tried to take food out your mouth. Shame on you for now getting on open airways saying that you are going to try to use the same tactic. Why should anybody feel sorry for you now? You're an idiot, Stephen A. Smith. But have a blessed day nonetheless. And if you ever want that conversation with a bus, please come have it. I would love to know how were you beneficial to those children in those high schools? How are you beneficial to those kids in those colleges doing stand-up comedic style conversations on me that had nothing to do with basketball? You wasn't watching the game at the time, were you? Didn't seem like it. Or did you have teleprompters with the game on? Because it makes no sense. I don't understand what you were trying to do, but I think I do. So if you want to have a conversation with me, I would love it. I've been sitting here raising my hands. No need to go on Gills Arenas, all these other places to mention me. Come holler at me. I'll come to you. Not a problem. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone, y'all. It's a pre-record.